Chapter 7. It was the morning of Derek's birthday, and I went to take a shower. By the time I came out, Ma was fixing breakfast for Derek and Josh. I stole a piece of toast and some bacon off Josh's plate, even though there was a plate full in front of him. I drove over to Derek's house, and his mom was waiting for me with a cup of coffee in hand. She asked me, "Does Derek suspect anything?" I said no. He's just kind of sad that no one had mentioned a party. She smiled and said, "That will change in a couple hours." She told me where the DJ would be putting his equipment and where the food was going. I didn't put many decorations up, but there were a couple streamers and balloons that didn't float. Before I left, Derek's little brother came downstairs. His name was Sean, and I picked him up and asked him how he was doing and smiled and put him down. I smiled at Derek's mom. She asked me, "Do you know?" I said, "What?" She said about Sean's mother. I looked at the floor and nodded. She asked me to stay and talk to her about the story. I sat down and said, "I know the story." Sean was watching TV in the living room. She said, "Yes, I'm sure you do. But do you know what Derek knows? Not what I or his dad knows. Derek's father and I got married 17 years ago. And 13 years ago, he had an affair and got a woman pregnant. He had a girl, but since I already had Derek, I decided not to tell him. I would only explain if he ever found out. I never heard anything about it after that, except when the girl grew up old enough to write. She started sending letters. I had to force him to go see her. Then 12 years later, he ended up having a son, Sean, by his daughter. He raped a little girl. She told her mom, and she didn't want it. So she dropped him off here." I looked confused and surprised at the same time while Derek's mom cried so hard. I could only think to say I'm sorry. She said, "No, I'm sorry for telling you." She told me, "Please don't tell Derek. It would tear him up inside." I said, "No problem. Are you going to be okay?" She said, "Yeah," and walked me to the door. I gave her a hug, and I said bye to Sean. It was 8 o'clock p.m. and Derek's basement was wall to wall full of decorations and balloons and just excited and ready for the party. No one was dancing yet, but everyone was really socializing, waiting for Derek. Since the invitations had 8, everybody thought people would show up at 9, but everyone thought wrong. So around 15 minutes later, Josh yelled, "He's coming." Derek came downstairs. "Surprise!" everyone said. He was so happy. The music was jamming, neighbors complaining, people really, really dancing all over. Girls dancing on boys, boys dancing on girls, girls dancing on girls. I didn't know most of those people, just enough to socialize. The party didn't die down till 3 in the morning, and that was because Derek's mom put a yellow paper that says caution and wrapped it around the house. Most of the lights were out, so it looked like an abandoned house. Both Josh and Derek kept leaving the party to go have sex. Crazy. The party was great. Derek got a bunch of presents, and out of all things Josh could have gotten him, he got Derek a baseball hat stuffed with flavored condoms. Ma showed up, but she went home around 10, so Derek, Josh, and I fell asleep in the living room at Derek's house. Derek was 16, and I know he felt good. I woke both of them up and asked, did they want to go out to IHOP? We all got dressed, and I brought a couple things from Derek. When we walked out the door, there was a black two-door Lexus in the driveway, and on the window it had "Happy Birthday, Derek." We all looked at each other, and then Derek ran into the house. "Hey, Mom, come outside and see." "Baby, I didn't get that for you. But if it's here tomorrow, I guess it's meant for you." We'll never know who sent the car, but Derek loved it. He already had his license. He picked Josh and I up from now on to go to school to make up for all the times I drove him. That Monday, a girl named Jessica that Derek was talking to off and on got his courage out, and he was shy but asked her out. Till this day, they go out. They make the cutest couple. Josh told me that after school one day, Jessica followed him into the locker room. He said she unbuttoned her shirt, but he was smart. He told Jessica he'd be back, and he went and found Derek and said, "Jessica told me to tell you that she wants to meet you in the locker room." Since then, Jessica didn't ever do that again.